And welcome back to another episode of Dogs on the Couch, where everybody's allowed to have an opinion. Your beer drinking uncles, your aunties, your brothers, your cousins, your co-workers. It does not matter if you watch the game. You're allowed to have an opinion. Who says that you can't? That's the beauty of all these social media sites. Thank you for allowing me to have a platform. If you're new, please like, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Okay, helps with the algorithm and it helps with the viewership. Would greatly appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get into today's topic. This might as well just be a part two. Um, from my last rant about the infamous Kevin Kitchens or Freddie Stefanski, whichever one you like. Kevin Stefanski needs to be fired now, immediately, right now. Like, I wouldn't wait. Like, the same way that the Jets did with Robert Saleh. And truth be told, I don't even think Saleh should have been fired, for real. I don't even think he should have been fired. But just because Aaron Rodgers ain't like you was trying to hug him, and Aaron Rodgers like, I don't do hugs, bro. They got you up out of there. No problem with getting you up out of there to please their quarterback. They picked the quarterback over the coach. That's what they did. They picked the quarterback over the coach. That's what they did. Okay? They felt like Aaron Rodgers was more, they felt like, well, the only reason Aaron Rodgers is looking this bad is because of you, Robert Saleh. That's why Aaron Rodgers is he threw 3 interceptions. The last one that ended the game in he threw an interception to the double coverage. He shouldn't have been throwing the ball there, but you know what? It's your fault, Robert Saleh. You gotta go, buddy. That's what they did. So let's get into Stefanski, the 2-time coach of the year. Let's get in him. In this past weekend's game that I had already predicted, I didn't do the day before predictions like normal, or 2 days before, because normally I do it on Friday with my guy Chuck. So we weren't able to get it this Friday. But I had already said this the prior week that I had the Browns losing to the Eagles, because back then I said the next 2 out of 3, the second game would have been the Eagles, and I said I had them winning against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I gave my reasons why I had them winning against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I had already predicted the loss against the Eagles. Kudos to myself, not like I need it. But I already predicted the loss, and it's pretty blatant to see how it happened. The loss happened similar to how all of the other losses happen. Just crazy stuff that Football 101 tells you either to do or not to do, and then we do the opposite. If it tells us to do it, we do the opposite. If it tells us don't do it, we do the opposite. Okay? So first of all, first half was just, I don't know what it was. It was just a choppy mixture of just garbage all around. Bad quarterback play, bad play calling, just terrible. Like, it was just wild. But with that being said, right before half, we were down 10-3 right before the half. Myles Garrett bust through the line on the field goal attempt, blocks the field goal. I think it's Ray McLeod or Rodney McLeod. One of them. He scooped the ball up, run down the field, scored a touchdown. Yeah, here we go, y'all. Let's go. Tie the game up right before the half, 10-10, and you get the ball back to start the second half. So this is great. We got the momentum. No matter how garbage we looked up until that point, we still in the game, and we got the momentum. So, boom. We come back out second half. All right, we should be able to do something now. The momentum is on our side. We ready to go. We start off great. The drive starts off great. We moving down the field. Mixing in some runs here and there, a couple passes. Basically we moving down the field. Offense looks functional. The offense looks functional. We moving down the field. We get into the Eagles' red zone, or within field goal range. I believe we was in the red zone though. And we have a 3rd and 1. Now, if you listen to any of my previous rants about Kevin Stefanski, he did it again. On 3rd and 1, we take Deshaun Watson out of the game. So for all the people who crying for Deshaun Watson, put Jameis Winston in there, sit Deshaun Watson, bench him. He's terrible. Put Jameis Winston in there. The interception king, put him in there, and that's all of a sudden going to make the Browns great again. Make the Browns great again by putting Jameis Winston in there, captain interception himself. And I ain't hating on Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston actually cool by me. Like, he all right. I ain't really got no problems with Jameis Winston. But, I mean, it's a fact that he threw a lot of interceptions. I mean, that's just a fact. That's a fact. Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions. Didn't mean he wasn't, don't mean he wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? But it's a fact that he threw a lot of interceptions. You lose a lot of the time from him throwing interceptions. So anyway, we take Deshaun Watson out of the game and we put in Jameis Winston on 3rd and 1. Now, last week, when we had that 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, this was after we did the 3rd and 1 with some other garbage. It was 4th and 1, whatever. Last week, we did a pitch to Pierre Strong that got stopped in the backfield. We pitched the ball to Pierre Strong, stopped in the backfield. So your 3rd and 4th down short packages that include Jameis Winston, they've blown up more times than they've worked. Like, especially when you don't just sneak it. Like, if you're going to put Winston in there and just sneak it, even though I don't like that, even though I hate that, I hate it. I hate it. The reason I hate it, when the Eagles had 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, you know what they about to do. They about to line it up, tush push, brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. A new revamped QB sneak is what it is. They don't take Jalen Hurts out and put the backup quarterback in to run that play. They just run it with Jalen Hurts. That's what they do. They just run it with Jalen Hurts. There's no need to put a backup in to run that play. Sorry. So, we did the Pierre Strong last week. So, this week, like I said previously, Kevin's problem is he likes to try it a lot. And so the worst thing that could happen is one of those trick plays that he got actually work. Because if it actually works, oh man, you can't tell him nothing. He about to trick-a-rickery the rest of the whole game. Because I got this one play to work, so you can't tell me I ain't the mastermind. Watch my trickeration. So here we are. After the defense just scored points because the offense can't do it. So the defense just put points on the board for us, tied the game, and we got the ball back to start off the second half, and we driving down the field, running game looking good, Deshaun Watson looking good, everything looking good. We get the 3rd and 1, and in football 101 would tell you, because the Eagles did this in the same game. 3rd and 1, just line it up, put a hat on a hat, push forward. We about to get this 1 yard. All the linemen put a hat on a hat. Ain't no blocking scheme you got to have and all this other garbage. Whoever in front of you, push that man back. We need 1 yard. Instead, Freddie Stefanski has to get cute. Because that's what he love to do. He love to get cute. Look at my play calls. Look at these masterful plays I come up with. Trots Jameis Winston out there, the guy that everybody want in. Y'all act like he don't be in. He gets in. He get in quite a bit. On these third and shorts, fourth and shorts, he always in the game. So trot Jameis Winston out there, and we run a pitch or a jet sweep with Cedric Tillman. You heard me right. Cedric Tillman. You don't know who that is? Me either. Me either. I'm just playing. I know who he is. He's the same guy who dropped a pass dead in his breadbasket on 4th down earlier in the year. I forget what game it was. Might have been the second game that we had. It's been so many drop passes that I forget what games they be in. But Cedric Tillman, the same guy with Deshaun Watson, Mr. Noodle Arm, and he can't throw the ball, put the ball right in between his numbers, right there, right in the numbers, right in the breadbasket to catch the ball. And it bounces in and pops out. Then he go over to the sideline throwing his helmet and all this other garbage. It's your fault, bro. No matter how much you throw your helmet, that's not going to help you catch the ball. Like, it just is what it is. So, first of all, you skip past Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, and Elijah Moore. Them is your top 3 receivers. Okay? Mind you, I've discussed this before, okay, with the running backs and with Nick Chubb. And how you take Nick Chubb out and go to the 3rd string running back. Or throw the ball to the 3rd string tight end. Stuff like that. So, here he proves me he proves me 100% right again. You know what? Forget Amari Cooper. Forget Jerry Jeudy. Forget Elijah Moore. All these guys that we did all this stuff to get. Forget all of them. I'm going to go to the number 4 wide receiver and run a jet sweep. You can't make this up. That's what he did. You ran a pitch or a jet sweep, whatever it is, and again, you got stopped in the backfield. What was so crazy is when they lined up, you could see the defensive end for the Eagles staring right at the play. I mean, he's staring right at it. He's literally standing right there looking like, oh yeah, I know this play. We worked on this. We saw this play in practice. I know exactly where the ball about to go. I know exactly what you about to do. He's standing there looking right. I'm talking about he's standing lined up looking right back there at him. Like, I know what's finna happen. You finna get the ball, and I'm finna come back there and tackle you. I know this play. I seen this play. Coach told me y'all was going to do this. I couldn't believe it. I said, Coach, they ain't going to be that stupid to run this play. Coach told me, oh, yeah, they is. I got 5 games so far worth of footage of them doing this. So he going to run it. You just got to be ready when it happens. You come 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you see Jameis Winston coming in there, this what to look for. And the defensive end read it perfectly. He read the play perfectly. Stopped in the backfield. Forcing us to kick a field goal that we missed. How is that Deshaun Watson's fault? How? Oh, it's not his fault. He wasn't even in the game. On either one of those plays, 3rd down and 4th down, on this drive that you had, mind you, he the one that led you all the way down there. He was the quarterback that led you all the way down there to the red zone to even be in scoring position. He was the quarterback throughout that time that got you down there. Then once you get down there, you say, oh, 3rd and 1, gotta take Watson out and put Jameis Winston in so we could run this jet sweep with the number 4 wide receiver. I would think that like Elijah Moore was probably your fastest receiver. Usually if you're running a jet sweep, you're going to run that with like your fastest receiver. Our fastest receiver is not Cedric Tillman by a long shot. I might be as fast as Cedric Tillman. I'm just saying. Football speed, I might be as fast as Cedric Tillman. and I sit on the couch. I might be as fast as him. So you run a jet sweep. They get stopped in the backfield. Coach, this is the coach. You called that play. Deshaun didn't call that play. Deshaun was sitting on the sideline where everybody wanted him to be at. And this is what you decided to do with Jameis Winston in there. The person that people want to be in the game. They want Jameis Winston in there. He was in there, and this is the play you decided to call on 3rd and 1. A jet sweep to Cedric Tillman. I told you before, man, he doubles down on stuff. He doubled down on no matter how dumb it is, he doubles down on it to let you know, oh no, this is what I do. This is what I do, buddy. You can't make, I don't understand. You can't make those kinds of decisions and think that your team is going to win a football game. Not only that, on that jet sweep, when the defensive end stopped it in the backfield, he came through untouched. He was untouched. Nobody touched him. So again, we can't fault Deshaun Watson for that. Because y'all love to say Deshaun Watson is the reason that he's getting sacked. He's causing his own sacks. He's making it. Okay, well, no, man. He wasn't even in the game, bruh. So it's two things that could be wrong there. Either A, the play itself was terribly designed and it shouldn't be called in that type of situation. Or B, you do have the play design right, but one of the offensive linemen missed their block. Neither one of those, however, is Deshaun Watson's fault. So you had a chance to go up either 17-10 or at the bare minimum, 13-10. You squandered away field position by running a dumb play, and then you send the field goal kicker out there to miss, which he's missed a couple times this year. One I think might have been an extra point, and then this, the field goal. But these were makeable kicks. If you kicking it from 58 and you miss, I understand that. I ain't mad at that. But when you in clear field goal range, you should be making those, Dustin Hopkins. Because truth be told, that's a lot of the reason we won the games last year. Because had it not been for Dustin Hopkins being pretty much automatic from wherever he was kicking from, we would have lost a few of them games. Because when we win, we only win by a few points. I've said this before. Again, when we win, we only win by 3-4 points. So even back then with them games we was winning, how everybody, Joe Flacco. We wasn't dominating. We wasn't pouring people out. We was winning by 3 points. We'll win because Dustin Hopkins kicked a 57-yard field goal and made it. So we win. It's like, bro, that's not every week you want to win like that. That's telling you something wrong. You can't keep that up. That's not a thing you can keep up over an extended period of time. You can do that for a little while, but then reality start to set in. Like whatever errors you making to put you in that position every time, they start to shine through. Okay. So that's just one area of many. I don't even want to go through too much about that second half of the game. I feel like that alone is enough. I could go on and on and on and on and on about that specific game. But what I'll close the comments on that game with is I think Deshaun only missed one throw that entire second half. I think he only missed one throw. He was either 10 or 10 or 10 or 11 or 11 or 12, something like that. I think he only missed one throw the entire second half. So he was making the throws. You know what I did see in the game? I saw Amari Cooper rack up 2 more drops. I did see that. Definitely saw that. So to close the door on that game and that extremely dumb play call, because he's going to give you at least one every game. And a crucial time, too, mind you. After the defense just scored points, because you can't do it with your play calling. And then you get a good drive going down the field. And then your ego got the best of you. You said, you know what, I got to outsmart him. 3rd and 1, I got this. Watch me. I'm about to get in my bag. Jameis Winston, go in. We about to run this jet sweep with Cedric Tillman. They'll never see it coming. That's what you thought. Instead, they 100% saw it coming. Because the stuff that you should never do at any level of football, like even in Pee Wee, in 9U, my son played 9U. In 9U, you don't make that call. 3rd and 1, and even in 9U, you're not calling a jet sweep, man, with the number 4 wide receiver. What? That's insane. So let me get to the nitty gritty here. For me, when people keep giving Deshaun Watson as the excuse for this, failure of the Browns. Oh, it's Deshaun Watson's fault. Bench Deshaun Watson, get Jameis Winston in there. Deshaun Watson, he has no incentive to do well. He doesn't care and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Check this out, man. If Deshaun Watson didn't care and he ain't had no incentive, I highly doubt he'd be in the game staring down the barrel of these hits that he be taking and still trying to deliver passes, man. If that was me and I'm Deshaun Watson and my money guaranteed and I got all my money, I would sit myself down. I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah. With this offensive line and this guy right here calling the plays, yeah, man, I think I re-aggravated my shoulder. My money's guaranteed. Yeah, it couldn't be me. So if you hating on Deshaun Watson, he a much bigger man than most of us, because let that be me. And I got $230 million guaranteed. I ain't got to play another down and my money guaranteed. Man, you think I'm about to go out here and keep getting smashed in the face? Every time I throw the ball, I got to get up off the ground. Every time I drop back the pass, I got to get up off the ground. And these big hits, too. Every time I throw the ball, I got to get up off the ground. Every time I drop back the pass, I'm scrambling for my life. Or I got to get up off the ground. I would have been like, oh, yeah, my shoulder. Yeah, I think I tweaked something. I don't know. Give Jameis Winston a shot, though. Let him get in there. Or DTR, one of them. Let them go ahead. My shoulder hurt. I might have to have surgery. Might need another surgery. That's what I would have told him. A few facts for all of the bench Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston's gonna fix our problems. People, a few facts for you, buddies. A few facts. Amari Cooper, your number 1 wide receiver, leads the league in drops. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Your number 1 wide receiver leads the league, not just his team. He leads the league, the entire NFL, in drop passes. The ball got to get there in order for you to drop it. So Deshaun Watson's arm ain't that much of a noodle. He ain't reading defenses that bad. Am I saying that he's immaculate at all of it? No, he's struggled. He's struggled quite a bit at certain times, but there's other times that he's looked good. But one thing that remains a fact is your number 1 wide receiver, meaning when you drop back, most of the time, what you should be, the first guy you should be looking for, that's why he's the number 1. That guy, he lead the league in drops. So for me as a quarterback, how much confidence do I have in a person that pretty much every time stuff do work out right, where the line actually do block, the receiver actually do get open, and then I actually do get the ball to him accurately, put it right on him, he drops it. Crucial times, too. Crucial, to keep the drive going. Everything works out perfectly in the scheme. And then the pass get there, he drops it. You lead the league in drops, buddy. And then, we got drops from our other receivers as well. But your number one, he leads the league in drops, man. That's a fact. That's not a personal opinion. Like, Deshaun Watson being trash and he's done, his arm's a noodle and he'll never be able to start quarterback ever again. That's an opinion. From my perspective, that's an opinion. That's not a fact. I'm going to give you more of a reason why I believe that that's an opinion, not a fact. Outside of his number one wide receiver leading the league in drops, I'm pretty sure we up there in the league in penalties. Those are also drive killers. Jedrick Wills had 2 false starts in this past week's game. 2 in the same game. You know the snap count because they say it in the huddle. And if by some chance you forget the snap count, you move when the ball moves. My son played 9U. You know what they tell him all the time? When do you move? When the ball moves. These are 9-year-olds that know that. So even if you forgot the snap count, don't move to the ball move. Wait till somebody else move first. Because I'm just saying, what you trying to get an extra head start? You trying to make sure you well, that still ain't helping you block nobody. Because you're giving up the most sacks in the league. Deshaun Watson is the most sacked quarterback in the league. The most sacked quarterback in the league. So for all of the, we'll bench him and put Jameis Winston in there. And okay, so Jameis Winston's supposed to save. He's supposed to come in and save. You finna get sacked. That's what's going to happen. You're probably going to get sacked more because Jameis Winston ain't no scrambler. He's not getting away from nobody, bro. It's not happening. Not at this age. He probably used to be able to do that. But if we saying that Deshaun Watson done lost a step, what you think, Jameis? You think Jameis Winston is a spring chicken? As far as his mobility is concerned, I don't think so. So he gonna get sacked because offensive line ain't blocking no darn body. They're not blocking nobody. So Jameis Winston is gonna have pressure in his face. He already known to throw interceptions, so you're gonna have the pressure in your face. You can't really scramble all that well. And then let's just say Jameis Winston does somehow find some magic in his legs and he's scrambling around and then he throws this dot of a pass that's so on the money, so on target to Amari Cooper. You know what he's going to do? He's going to drop it. He's going to drop the ball. Because a pass that's on the money is a pass that's on the money. It don't matter who it's coming from. It could be coming from Tom Brady or it could be coming from Charlie Batch. If the ball hits you in the numbers, it hits you in the numbers, no matter who it's coming from. So to think that Jameis Winston is somehow going to fix this, Jameis Winston can't fix Jedrick Wills jumping off sides. He can't fix that because that ain't him. Jameis Winston can't fix Amari Cooper dropping open passes. Jameis Winston can't fix the offensive line being terrible at blocking. Jameis Winston can't fix the fact that we don't have no solid running game. They better be glad Nick Chubb supposed to be coming back soon. But even with Nick Chubb, I said this before. Even when we had Nick Chubb before, what did we do with him? Oh, we had him on a pitch count. He can only carry the ball so many times a game. He could be just cooking. He could be going crazy. Man, there was one time, and I can't remember if this was Kitchens or Stefanski. The reason I can't remember because they do the same thing so much. It was Chubb and Derrick Henry going back and forth for the person with the most rushing yards that year. All we had to do was give Nick Chubb the ball correctly, and he would have been able to get that, lead the league in rushing. That was pretty much the only thing that we had left to attain that year. You think they gave Nick Chubb the ball? No. But the Titans, they kept feeding Derrick Henry to make sure that he got enough yards to get that. They're like, oh, we got a bell cow back. We about to keep giving them the ball. Over here, we like, oh, we got a bell cow back. Let's only give them to him. Let's only give him the ball 12 to 15 times. We have to preserve him. We got to preserve him. We don't want him to get hurt. Then 2 years later, oh my God, he got hurt. What good did all that preservation do? Only for him to get hurt anyway. Which to me screams that you should have been giving him the ball all that time that you had him and he was healthy. You should have been running him like crazy. But instead, we pass happy here. That's what we do. Matter of fact, I remember a specific game. I believe it was a Monday night game against the New York Jets. This is back when we had Baker Mayfield. It was a Monday night game. All of our starting receivers was out. Like, we didn't really have no receivers that game. Bro, I think we threw the ball 50 times that game. Like, you tell me what kind of offensive scheme that is. You don't have none of your wide receivers, but you say, you know what? Oh, we about to throw this ball all over the yard. Instead of just being run heavy. When, running the ball is what you've done well, and mainly because of Nick Chubb. I'm on record making a post on social media, on Facebook, when Nick Chubb had that knee incident where he got his knee hurt. I literally made a post that said this is the beginning of the end for Kevin Stefanski. Because see, Nick Chubb used to be able to, in order to cover up your deficiencies as a stupid head coach and an even worse play caller, you used to be able to just get a ball to Nick Chubb. And then Nick Chubb being himself, he'll find ways to just break a 60-yard touchdown run. Those are points that you used to get by just giving it to Nick Chubb and then Nick Chubb be spectacular. Well, you don't get those points anymore. You missing that. Jerome Ford ain't breaking off no big runs like Nick Chubb. Neither is Pierre Strong. Not for tutties, not for touchdowns. Every now and again, they may give you a good 10 to 15-yard run. Nick Chubb used to take them jumps to the house. When you lost him, you lost that. Lost Bill Callahan, it seemed like you lost a lot of blocking schemes and rushing attacks to go with it. You lost AVP, seemed like you lost some play caller that went with it. Or some type of offensive scheme. Looked like that left with him. So for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out how is it that we blame the quarterback when the offensive line give up the most sacks in the league, your number one wide receiver leads the league in drops, and then your two-time coach of the year head coach likes to take you out on 3rd and 1 and put the backup in and run a jet sweep with the number 4 wide receiver. All of this stuff going on. Oh, and the penalties. And the penalties. False starts, holding, ineligible man downfield, illegal shift. You got all this other stuff going on. But nah. It's the quarterback's fault. Quarterback ain't jumping off sides. Every time we get in the red zone, we struggle to get the play in. Every time we get in the red zone, we got to call a timeout because we can't get the play right. You want to know why? Because Stefanski over here looking at this card trying to scheme up something that you don't even need to scheme up, buddy. You don't need to scheme anything at this point. You don't even need to scheme nothing. Keep it basic, man. Just keep it basic at this point. Stop trying to get cute because that's what's messing you up. You try to get cute, next thing you know, false start. Because the lineman thinking about this cute play that's coming up instead of just, hey, man, my job is to line up right here and move this man off the ball. That's it. Not none of this other trickeration garbage. We overlook the penalties because, I'm sorry, penalties, that's coaching. Because for me, 2 false starts in the same game, you wouldn't be playing for me. Come over here and sit down next to me. What good is it doing having you out there? You ain't blocking nobody and you false starting. So why do I have you out there? I might as well. You could put me out there. I can do that. Not block anybody and false start. I can do that. Put me at left tackle and give me however much money he making. I don't know. You give me that amount of money, I'm probably gonna block somebody. I'm probably, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna block somebody. At least I'm gonna stay on sides at the bare minimum. I'm not gonna jump off sides. That's at the bare minimum. I ain't gonna do that. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. Especially not twice in the same game. I ain't gonna do that. So we gotta overlook all of this other just whirlwind of garbage. Skip over all of that and go to the quarterback. Do y'all realize that all this other stuff gotta be functioning in order for the quarterback to be able to do anything? Quarterback can't do nothing if you don't stay on sides. Quarterback can't do nothing if you don't block for him. Quarterback can't do nothing if you don't catch the ball when he does get it to you. I used to tell people this all the time. It's like the Browns been having struggles with wide receiver for a very long time. Even when they got top tier wide receivers, I talked about before, Odell Beckham. Get one of the best wide receivers in the game at the time, and somehow you can't figure out how to get him the ball. Me, he would have been tired of getting the ball. He would have been like, hey, look, coach. If it was me, coach, he'd have been like, hey, look, coach, me like 3 plays off. You could throw it to somebody else. And then I'd be like, you sure? Because I got another play drawn up for you right here. Because you finna get the ball. Oh, you finna get the ball. There's no way you finna be running wide open and I don't throw you the ball. Even if you not wide open, I'm just finna throw you the ball. Because great players make plays. Even if you're not wide open, I'm just finna throw it to you. We skip over all the other stuff that's going terribly and go right to, oh, it's the quarterback's fault. Yeah, put Jameis Winston in there and see what you get, man. Put him in there and see what you get. The same guy that last time he was relevant. He threw 30 touchdowns, but he compounded it with 30 interceptions. So every touchdown pass he throw, here comes an interception after that. So imagine dealing with all the stuff that you're dealing with now. No running game, bad play calling, wide receivers dropping the ball, linemen jumping off sides, linemen not being able to block. Combine all of that with now you're going to be getting interceptions thrown too. And I'm not talking about the kind that you throw it, then it bounce off the receiver and then go to somebody else, Amari Cooper. I'm talking about Jameis Winston just throwing interceptions like he do. So you already got all this other stuff, and then you want to add an interception thrower on top of that? One thing I will say about watching offense them passes be at least they ain't getting picked off all like that. I think he had 5 touchdowns to 2 interceptions or 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, something like that. And one of them for a fact, one of them picks I know for a fact ain't his fault because it bounced off of Amari Cooper and then it got picked off. So one of them interceptions ain't even his. Man, listen here. Jameis Winston, he already showed you. Every touchdown pass he throw, he finna throw an interception with that. So you couple them interceptions with all this other garbage that we got going on offense, man. How do we skip over? How are we negligent about all this other stuff to go right to the quarterback? How do we not acknowledge that Amari Cooper is leading the league in drops? And that's your number, that's supposed to be your number 1 wide receiver? And when I drop back and I do deliver the ball to you, I got to worry about if you're going to catch it or not. And then if you do catch it, I got to hope that it don't get back because when the offensive lineman was holding. Make that make sense to me. And in closing, I end with this. The Philadelphia Eagles, who we just lost to, their record is 3-2. We just lost to them. Their record is 3-2. Jalen Hurts has not looked like the same guy that he looked like last year. He looked bad. They had some injuries here or there, whatever, what have you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But he's looked bad. Jalen Hurts hasn't looked anywhere near what he looked like last year. He don't look like that. Now I found out they got a new offensive coordinator, so that's probably got something to do with it. But he don't look like he did last year. However, their team is 3-2. They have a winning record. and they number 2 in the division. They 1 game behind the Washington Commanders, who having a breakout year because of Jaden Daniels. So if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels, the Commanders wouldn't be 4-2. That's purely Jaden Daniels. Okay, when they had Sam Howell, they wasn't rolling like that. So Jaden Daniels is what got them at 4-2. The Eagles is 3-2. They got a winning record, and they number 2 in the division right now. 1 game behind the Commanders. And do you know that they calling for Nick Sirianni to be fired? They're calling for him to be fired. I'm trying to figure out why. Oh man, because this and that, and it looks bad. The team looks abysmal, and blah blah blah. How a team with a winning record look that bad? Look abysmal. They got a winning record, man. They 3-2. They got a winning record, man. Like having a winning record, that's kind of like increasing your chances to make the playoffs. That's what a winning record does. You second in the division, 1 game out of first place in the division. I'm not understanding that. How are you calling? They calling for the coach's head. They calling for him to be fired. Yet another situation where they are choosing the quarterback over the coach. They're choosing the quarterback over the head coach. When in my opinion, Nick Sirianni ain't did nothing to get fired. I don't see it. I don't understand why he should be fired. I don't get it. Make it make sense to me. The team 3-2. Oh, well, you just barely beat the Browns, and everybody else mollywopped them, and you just barely beat the Browns. Or whatever. I don't know what the excuses are. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing something out there, I guess. Did you win? Did you beat them? Okay. Browns can't do that. Browns can't get a win. I'm talking about the Eagles tried to hand them a win. Kevin Stefanski like, nah, I don't want it. Don't hand me your win. I want to get this win my own way. Jameis Winston, get out there. 3rd and 1. Run this jet sweep with Cedric Tillman. A guy who already showed us earlier in the season when we need a big play from him and we go to him, he frees up. He does not come through. You know what? We're going to give him another shot at it. How dumb can you be? So how is it the Jets fire their head coach? Because we want Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers say you the problem, bro. So you gone. They get rid of Saleh, and the Eagles is calling for Nick Sirianni head. They calling for him to be gone. But for some odd reason, and I'm talking about even with Nick, even the people on the talking heads on the ESPN or whatever, even they saying that he should be, because he was going back and forth with the fans. Well, you know what, man? I'm going to be all the way real with you. I wouldn't mind that. I would rather have a coach who's so fired up that he want to go back and forth with the fans as opposed to a coach who just stand there looking at the play sheet, and every time you ask him a question or you questioning him about his retarded play calls or people jumping off sides, he give the same response every time. Well, we got to do better, and I got to do better. I got to coach better, and we got to be better. And nothing ever changes. And he's bland. He never shows any emotion. He just always just there with his head in the play sheet, calling stupid plays. I could see if you always got your head in the sheet and then you always coming up with a good play, like Andy Reid or something like that. Then I'm cool with you always having your head in here and only focusing on this. But bro, you always got your head in here like this, and the only thing you could come with on 3rd and 1 is a jet sweep with Cedric Tillman. Spare me. It unalives us slowly. It's a slow unaliving that we're suffering when we watching this. On 3rd and 1, when you're just thinking, quarterback sneak. Oh, no, we running a jet sweep with Cedric Tillman. Stopped in the backfield. Defensive end standing right there looking at you crazy the whole time. Like, I know you ain't about to run this. I know you ain't about to run this. Stefanski like, oh, yeah, we are. Got you outsmarted, buddy. The end. Like, oh, man, I hate to do it to you, but I saw this play in practice. They told me you was about to do this. Bam, got him in the backfield. So how is all these people calling for Nick Sirianni here, saying he got to go. Oh, he's immature for going back and forth with the fans. You know what? He may be, man. He may be. But at least he's showing some type of fight. At least he's showing some type of bravado. Like he cares about winning and losing. At least he's showing that he cares. He's showing some type of emotion. Because usually the team take on the identity of the head coach. And if you ask me, it ain't never been more clear than with the Cleveland Browns. Everything just looks bland. Every time somebody jump off sides, it's kind of like oh well, we'll just go to the next play. Instead of, if I'm the head coach and I've been having all these penalties, and this ain't just this year. This has been ever since Stefanski's been the head coach. This has been happening. It was just covered up by Nick Chubb. It was all being covered up by having Nick Chubb, and you could just turn around and hand him the ball off, and next thing you know, if you give him the ball 3 or 4 times, he break one of them for a touchdown. You're back in the game. And then that gets the defense fired up. Now they want to stop somebody because they're like, well, at least if we get the ball to Chubb, we'll be able to score. Now, if I'm the defense, it's like, bro, what am I stopping somebody? What am I about to go out here and stop people for? Go out there and get you the ball back for what? So you could call a jet sweep on 3rd and 1 in the red zone? So you could call a jet sweep to Cedric Tillman? I think not. If I was Myles Garrett, I'd be like, man, I'm cool, bro. My ankle hurt, my shoulder hurt. I tried to hand you a win this past week. I tried to hand it to you. I broke through the line by myself, jumped over the dude, blocked the punt. Blocked the field goal attempt. And then when you got a chance to score, when you go down here, you run a jet sweep with Cedric Tillman. And then the kicker missed the field goal. That's another aspect I forgot you got to add in there. So we skipping over all this. Everybody else is playing horrible, and the coaches is coaching horrible. We skip over all of that and say it's the quarterback's fault. Not the guy who dropping passes as your number 1 wide receiver. Not the guy who calling terrible plays who's supposed to be the 2-time coach of the year. Not the offensive line that's one of the worst offensive lines in the league, period, point blank. Not the kicker who missing kicks left and right. It's not none of this. It's the quarterback. Man, I can't. If y'all don't get out of here with that mess, if you don't get out of here with that garbage, if you ask me, man, at this point, Cleveland, Cleveland, you don't deserve a winning team, man, because you wouldn't know what to do with it if you had it. You don't deserve no winning team, man. You wouldn't know what to do with it if you had it, bruh. You're so used to mediocrity that's what you look for. That's what you want. You want mediocrity. Anytime it's time to cut ties so that you could be great, you're scared to cut ties with mediocrity. Man, if Baker Mayfield ain't living proof that Kevin Stefanski, Kevin Kitchens is the problem, I don't know what is. Man, Baker Mayfield, I believe, leads the league in touchdown passes this year, man. I think he's top 3, top 5 in QBR. How he go from being the most inconsistent quarterback in the NFL to this year being one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the NFL. This year, if we going by the numbers, this year, he look a little bit better than Patrick Mahomes, numbers-wise. Now, we know he ain't better than Patty Mahomes, but I'm just saying, on the numbers, his numbers wasn't looking like that when he was here with Stefanski, but somehow when he get with a real coach and a real team, you take this guy who was mid, and now he at the top, he at the upper echelon of quarterbacks as far as the numbers go. If that ain't an indictment on Stefanski, I don't know what is. Stefanski tricked us. He tricked everybody. And then all this Joe Flacco was there. That was an extremely small sample size. That was a few games. That's it. It wasn't an entire season. That was a few games. That's it. It was a few games. And to top it all off, when you needed it the most, which was the playoff game against the Houston Texans, first-time head coach, rookie quarterback. when you needed them to be what they were, what you think they are? 2 pick sixes from Flacco. 2 pick sixes. Stefanski called the plays. Flacco threw the picks. So all this, when you needed it, it wasn't there. What happened? All of the Flacco. What happened in that game? What happened then? What happened? Stefanski struck again. That's what happened. We'll see what happens this upcoming week. Well, I already know what's going to happen this upcoming week with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's definitely going to be more of the same. I'm just trying to figure out at what point do you finally cut ties with Kevin Kitchens, Freddie Stefanski. On 923 The Fan this morning, they was calling. They said that jet sweep call. They said that was Hugh Jackson-esque. Hugh Jackson. I'm whole time I'm listening to it, I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, I'm the one who been calling him Kevin Kitchens, Freddie Stefanski. I've been calling him that. They said it was Hugh Jackson-esque. Like, that's some stuff that Hugh Jackson would do when we were going 1-31. Exactly. But it's the quarterback fault? I think not. Hey, man, tune in next time. We'll see how the saga continues. I'm going to continue to rip Kevin Kitchens until that guy gets up out of here. Because the Browns ain't never going to be good as long as that guy is the head coach and the play caller. He's terrible. Oh, he'll get another job instantly. Good. Go somewhere else. Good. Go get a job somewhere else, man. I guarantee I am not going to miss you, buddy. Please go somewhere else. Please take your brilliant football mind, take your 3rd-and-1 jet sweeps with the backup quarterback, take all of that and go somewhere else with it and mess up their football team and their franchise by always having to be the smartest guy in the room, but you're so smart that you're dumb. Dogs on the couch, man. Signing off.